The internet's filled with millions to billions of people from all over the world who sometimes share common interests. And out of the people who share common interests sometimes comes factions, and these factions lead to large debates or even heated internet flame wars. When it comes to Pokemon, one of the most recent and most popular debates that have been going around recently is who would win in a battle, 1 billion lions or one of every single Pokemon ever created. But there's already a lot of videos covering that topic already. So what I'm going to discuss in this video is a variation of this debate. Who would win, 1 billion lions or one of every single legendary Pokemon? Now, the heated debate regarding 1 billion lions versus all the Pokemon has a very simple answer. The Pokemon win hands down, and there's no question about it. I won't divulge any further into that because, again, like I said, there's definitely hundreds of videos already covering that topic. But I'd like to go into a more interesting topic, which make it more fair or less fair for the lions. What would happen if they went against 68 Pokemon, and those 68 Pokemon are specifically all the legendaries? This means that each legendary Pokemon will have to take out at around 14.7 million, give or take, lions to win the battle. So let's take a look at the basic lion, Panthera leo. Lions are some of the most powerful mammals in the world, with large muscles, powerful jaws, and a sense of cooperation amongst the pride. The only mammal I know that can solo a lion is the average American, cause we got the Second Amendment, baby! Anyway, the average lion has a jaw strength of approximately 650 to 1,000 pounds per square inch, or PSI, which can take down other large mammals like buffalo and wildebeests. They can also run at about 50 miles per hour in short bursts, since they don't have a lot of energy to run for long periods. Lions are also apex predators, meaning they don't have natural enemies in the wild. They also are very resilient, as they often fight amongst each other for control of the pride. So the average lion is a very powerful creature, no doubt. But how do 1 billion of them fare against all the legendaries? One glaring weakness that lions have already is, how the fuck are they gonna hit legendaries that can fly? Over half of the legendaries in the games have the ability to fly in some capacity, whether they have wings or through levitation. So already the lions can't even touch them. But let's say they decide to stay on the ground or hover at around like an average human's height. How will this make things different? Honestly, it doesn't. While lions have the ability to bite really hard and run as fast as a car on a US highway, they don't have supernatural abilities like regular Pokemon. Now, legendaries, on the other hand, are basically godlike, meaning that they have godlike abilities anyway. The most obvious examples where lions would get obliterated would be Pokemon like Yveltal, Dialga, Arceus, and Solgaleo. I mean, like, these Pokemon could just wipe out all life on the entire planet by themselves whenever they felt like it. But what about the minor legendaries, or the side legendaries? I will admit that many of the side legendaries may struggle on their own, like the Lake Guardian Trio or Fion. However, there are some legendaries that you may not expect to actually obliterate the lions. One example is Celebi. Celebi has the ability to travel across time, but only appears when times are peaceful. But let's say Celebi decided to wake up and choose violence. It could literally leave the whole battle, go back in time, kill the lion's ancestor, and end the entire lineage overall. Jirachi is also a Pokemon that could probably take out a large amount of the lions. You see, Jirachi is a Pokemon that can grant wishes, and I'm pretty sure that if it felt threatened by a lion, it could just straight up wish all the lions to be dead or transported far away. People also forget that a majority of the minor legendaries are still very powerful in their own right. Let's take a look at the Regis. All of them can use the move Explosion, except Regigigas. And as far as I'm concerned, that's literally like taking a nuke to the face, especially if these 5 Regis wanted to use that. But let's take away Explosion. Regigigas alone moves the continents, and according to Google, the North American continent weighs at about 40.7 times 10 to 21 kilograms, which equals at about 4.49 times 10 to the 19 tons. To move a singular ton, you would need to use a force of about 9,806.65 newtons. So, to move North America, you would need to exert a force of about 4.4 times 10 to the 23rd newtons. That's 22 whole zeros in a number. So to put this into a more realistic perspective, the Tsar Bomba, which is the most powerful nuke ever detonated, exerted a force of about 2.09 times 10 to the 27 newtons. Now obviously the Tsar Bomba is thousands of times stronger than Regigigas' best feat. But if we were to still put it into perspective, a mere bitch slap from it would be enough to not only send millions of lines flying away from the shockwave of the slap, but those who are immediately impacted by it would just vaporize, not even blood would be present. Registeel is quite literally made up of steel, and in order to break the average piece of steel, I guess, you would need to exert about 36,000 to 50,000 psi of force on it. So this would mean that around 50 to 77 lions would need to bite down on the same spot at the same time for Registeel to even break, and that would physically be impossible. Regieleki is straight up made of electricity, so making contact with it would just be giving you the pre-order exclusive trip to the afterlife. Another set of legendaries that we could also take a look at are the Guardian deities, Tapu Koko, Tapu Fini, Tapu Lele, and Tapu Bulu. Each of these legendaries are fairy types, and we all know how broken they are in Pokemon already. Tapu Koko can generate thunderstorms, and thunder is virtually just lightning in Pokemon, and will go on a rampage that can level cities. Tapu Lele is a cruel bastard that sends out its scales for healing. Now you'd probably think, isn't that beneficial to the lions as well? I don't really see the problem here. Well, you're wrong, because Lele is a fickle bastard, since too many of those scales, well, basically kill you. Tapu Bulu is a lot more chill, but if you anger it, it will throw fucking trees at you like it's nothing. Tapu Fini is a lot more defensive by summoning a fog that'll put the enemy in a self-destructive stance. And yes, this fog will affect lions because most likely it'll affect Pokemon, which are also animals. Now, even though this set of legendaries seem much weaker than the Regis, being able to level a city or throw trees at your enemy is still enough to wipe out hundreds, if not thousands of lions, or maybe even tens of thousands of them. Let's go even further back in time, when things weren't as crazy, like the three legendary beasts, Entei, Suicune, and Raikou. Entei barking will literally set off volcanoes, and has even fought off against a whole swarm of Unknown in the Unknown movie. Suicune is known to be very graceful and can purify water. Now, even though this isn't a really good ability to have for fighting, being graceful means that it has the ability to easily move its body, and considering how these three Pokemon are pussies that run away if you don't catch them, it could easily dodge a bunch of lions coming at it. Raikou is a Pokemon that can summon lightning and fly using storm clouds. It also has a roar that can make the ground tremble and sounds like crashing thunder. And lions have very sensitive hearing compared to humans, so a roar like that could either simply startle them, or even straight up injure them if it's loud enough. Hell, Mewtwo is literally a man-made Pokemon, created to be the strongest Pokemon ever. It can not only teleport and has devastating psychic abilities, but it's gone up against some of the most powerful characters ever made in video game history, like Ganondorf and Sephiroth. Non-canon stuff aside though, Mewtwo could literally vaporize the moon if it wanted to. In TerminalMontage's video about the legendary Pokemon Battle Royale, Mewtwo seemed to be one of the few Pokemon standing besides the other literal gods. Please check the video out by the way, it's dope, hilarious, and it's definitely got a lot more research put into it than mine. Mewtwo could also easily take out the Kanto and Johto legendaries if needed, and take down hordes of normal Pokemon by himself, which shows just how powerful he is overall. He can also quite literally create black holes, and these black holes are pretty big by the way, which could easily solo the lions and the Earth, since a black hole the size of a coin can easily destroy Earth. But for the memes though, the legendaries are guaranteed a win already because of the presence of one Pokemon, Victini. Victini has the title of the Victory Pokemon, since it's said to bring victory to the trainers it befriends. Even though there's no trainers here to control the Pokemon, it still sides with the legendaries in this scenario, meaning it's practically Jover for the lions. Victini is also said to have infinite energy stored within its body, and can share that energy with the Pokemon it touches. So infinite boost and a guarantee win strat, huh? I would assume that Victini can also unleash the infinite energy within it, which again would just vaporize all of the lions. Like, I don't think it can be emphasized how big infinity is. Like, infinity is never ending, and infinity is forever. There is no beyond, so you fucking lied to me, Buzz Lightyear! You lied to me! There is no— Now obviously, I can't get to every single legendary ever made, because there's 68 of them so far. But it goes to show how easy of a win for the legendaries it is against 1 billion lions. I didn't even need to mention what Arceus can do, cause, I mean, how the fuck do you go up against God? I mean, atheism won't help you if God is literally standing at your doorstep. The box art legendaries themselves could easily wipe out life from the entire planet single-handedly. So what chance do simple lions have against 68 of them? So there you have it, folks. Not only do 1 billion lions lose to every single Pokemon ever made, but they still lose to a mere 5% of them. And honestly, I don't really see any situation in which they do win. But if you guys do have a situation in which they would win, let me know in the comments below. And if I forgot to mention a Pokemon that could solo all of the lions by themselves, do let me know. I want to hear what that Pokemon is. You see, I want to see a huge debate in the comments. I want chaos. I want a war. I want anarchy. Rise up! But anyway, let me know what y'all think about my response to this debate in the comments below. And I hope you all have a great day. See you next week.